Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance, and this is an M44, the Tier 6 American SPG, and we're located on the northwest spawn of Fjords, and it's being commanded by Chips and Beans. Now just behind him we can see an SU-8, and that's got driven by a 2-star or 2-mark player, and battle has commenced. Now I do know about this battle that during the middle of it, in fact, after only a few minutes, the mouse driver for Chips and Beans fails, and he's unable to play anymore, basically, until he can fix it. So, right, he's looking for a target, and initially he's having a quick look in the Eastern Passage, but then he changes his point of view and goes after that VK30. Now you can see he's got a red line. That means the mountain's in the way. From his current firing position, he wouldn't be able to hit it. The shell would hit the mountain long before it hit the target. Okay, but we have got a Batchat 12 ton there who backslides into that corner. And round out on that? No, he's going to miss that. Yep. Firstly, it wasn't fully dialed in. And secondly, the Batchat moved away just at the last moment. But I do like aiming at these particular bushes on those rocks because frequently the enemy will turn up there to do a quick first look. And that IS-3 has done a very, very bad thing. He's poked around too far, and obviously he's made himself an easy target. And he's receiving a lot of fire. Chips and Beans is going for him. Lining him up. And round out. Direct hit. 120 hit points straight away. Now he can relocate here because he's far enough away from the enemy and there is adequate cover, so it's very difficult for the enemy to actually see the tracer. I've actually fired at positions up there, not actually being able to determine precisely where the enemy was. He got 198 off that Tiger P, and you can see he's reversing back into position. Now the other thing you've got to worry about if you are doing that straight backwards and forwards is you might knock a tree over in that position. So be very careful not to knock a tree down because that would be spotted straight away. Oh, big direct hit on that Type 64, 270 hit points. It's got very light armor, the Type 64, so it's very susceptible. It's almost like a Hellcat really in type. But he can splash that Type 64 to death now if he's puts the shell in the right place. But he's going to go for that Batchat. Oh, no, that's going to miss by a mile. Yep, it's moving too quickly. You've got to worry about that with those Batchats. They are fast movers, so you have to give a much longer lead when they're going at speed. He's trying to resolve position on that type. You can see the Batchat's receiving a lot of hits from that ELC. Oh, he got the kill there! The ELC managed to slow down that Batchat long enough, but the ELC is obviously in reload, and he's coming up to try and taunt this AMX, acting as if he is fully loaded, ready to go. And he actually taunted the AMX 1375 into going around the corner and then being taken out by the SU-8. So that good player with the 2 marks really knows how to use his SU-8. But that enemy, that Tiger P, is getting very close. And I think it's around about now that the mouse driver failed. And oh no, this is absolutely dreadful. So he can't move. He can't aim at all because his mouse isn't working. He's swapping mice at this moment, trying to get it fixed. So you can see the mouse is absolutely, the aim reticle is absolutely stationary. And that Tiger P cannot see him. He's killed the SU-8. Or rather, the SU-8 has gone. He was spotted, but the Tiger P is moving away. Oh, now we've got the mouse moving again. For a second. And now it's gone again. Now, in a sense, actually, that probably saved him. Because if Chips and Beans had actually fired at that Tiger P, it's very likely the Tiger P would have killed him. Because I doubt if he would have been able to get a kill shot from one shot. Although they are two tanks up at the moment. And that Tiger P is headed back towards the fighting going on in grid square E6. That ELC will probably prove a lot of danger to that Tiger P. The Tiger P is going towards the cap. And the ELC's firing rounds in on him. Managed to get 2 hits so far. Can he get... Yes, he does get the kill shot. Well done, ELC. Those things are incredibly useful. I love playing it. The enemy can't see you very easily. And the ELC is going to spot for us now on that FV. But I'm pretty sure that the others are also having something to say about where that FV is. But unfortunately, can't get a solution. Not at the moment. He's loaded, ready to go. But he's in the lee of that rock. So... And he takes out the box tank. It's only the KV-85 down around the corner. We've got somebody capping. And he's taken out the A43. Okay, here comes the ELC. He's firing rounds into that FV. But he's got very low health. He's now stationary. It's the worst thing you can do in the ELC. You've got to, if you can, do a handbrake turn and run away as quickly as possible. Because after you've dumped your load, you are totally vulnerable. And unfortunately, there's not a lot he can do. Now, the T-43 has gone to the peninsula, to Little Italy. But he's out of range, so we can't communicate. We're not getting any details from him. And there's 2 Arty left on the enemy team. And they might be on the peninsula. There he is. There's in the bush. Just behind the bush. There's the other one. Okay, he can see where it is. And they've just fired at the A43. He's loaded. Come on, shoot. Oh, he's not doing anything. Oh, saw the tracer there again. He's moved position. They know about counter battery. Now he's indicating where he thinks the target is. And there's another tracer from the previous position. It was very obviously behind that bush or that tree. I don't think the other one's firing at the moment. Oh, and they've managed to kill the T-43. In fact, it was actually the FV-4202. Now, can he get a solution before he loses him? No, he can't. Now, he's going to have to do something now. Both of the enemy Arty were wiped out by the A-43. So it's just a one-on-one now between the FV-4202, who's got a fair bit of health, and it doesn't matter that he knocked a tree over there, and of course the M44, who's full health. But it'd probably be a good idea now for him to get to the enemy cap, because I reckon the A43 is going to be heading in this the A43, the FV-4202 is heading in this direction. The other thing about the FV-4202 is it's not incredibly fast, whereas the M44 is actually quite nippy. It's not the fastest Arty, not by a long chalk, but that's the Burt. But the M44 can still hold its own. And of course it is based on the chassis of the M41 Walker Bulldog. With all the extra weight it's carrying of a 155mm howitzer, it can be a bit slow going uphill. But it's also, as I say, it's got a 155mm howitzer, and that can deal an awful lot of damage in shotgun. Now, will the FV-4202 come this route? This is probably the best route for him to take, actually. Not the direct route, because more than likely the FV-4202 will take that route, thinking that the Arty will do the same. The other reason the FV-4202 is less likely to take the east route is that it's, as I say, it's slow moving, it's heavy, it would crawl up that hill very, very slowly. So he probably wants to take the faster route, which is the flatter ground. That would mean cutting through the town and then up towards the cap. I mean, you could argue that by going the east route, the FP4202 would protect himself from Arty fire, but then on the other hand, you'd have to say, well, yes, but there's nobody to spot him, so even if he was right out in the open, nobody would see where he was. Now, Chips and Beans is being cautious about moving down to the cap, just in case the FP4202 is waiting there. He could be sitting on the peninsula, you see. And you might see him coming down the hill. So he's being cautious about the last few moments. Now he should go in and cap now. Okay. He's going in for the cap. Now, best cap at the back of the cap. There's a slight dip there. What he's doing is he's going behind that hill, because if the FP4202 is on the peninsula, he's going to have to come around that corner. And of course, Chips and Beans can then shotgun him the moment he does. No, I don't think he's on the peninsula. If he was, we probably would have seen or caught sight of him by now. So, 1 minute 12 seconds to go. It's a long time to wait. But I have a sneaking suspicion that the enemy is at the other end. He says his mouse has stopped, which includes the fire button. That's probably why he was unable to aim the gun correctly. At the moment, you can see the gun is aimed off to one side. Oh, he's turning it now. He's managing to get it to work. Of course, you can move the Arty with the WASD keys, so that's not a problem. And the view range on this particular Arty is not that great. He's not going to see very much past those bushes at the right in front of him. About 325 meters. So 10 seconds to go now. And he's capped out. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. He's done it! Oh, there's the FP4202! And it's too late! He fired in after the completion. It doesn't matter what the FP4202 does now. They've got the victory. Of course, if he had actually wiped Chips and Beans out at this point, I think that might have been a draw. Because Chips and Beans have won. But he'd also been, if he'd been destroyed. But he did survive, which means he's got the victory. Let's have a look. Yes, he got the victory. Base captured. He didn't get any other medals other than the Invader medal, and you have to cap out to win and get at least 80 capture points in order to get an Invader. So it's not that rare for you to get it in an Arty. I've had quite a few, but it's very funny when an Arty actually does end up getting an Invader. Even funnier when it's a Raider Invader, when they never even see you. So he got a win rate of 1290, and of course the reason for that being so low was his mouse failure during the battle, which was absolutely a terrible thing to happen to him. But anyway, let's have a look at the team scores. Well, mid-table, 723 hit points of damage, but that's not his fault because his mouse failed. He did get at least one kill, which puts him joint fourth on the table. When it came to base XP, he was well down the table with only 498, but he did win for his team, so that compensates him. He fired 7 rounds, got 3 direct hits, 3 penetration, 1 splash, did damage of 723 hit points, of which 588 were at more than 300 meters. So he did do some close action stuff. He did get that batch at close range. He hit 4 of the enemy, but killed 1 of them. And he caused 3 stuns in total and got 100 capture points on the cap. On a standard account, he earned 13,996 credits, and after repair and ammunition resupply, he had 8,649 credits. So the damage that the FP4202 did to his vehicle did actually count, which obviously meant that he had to pay up, or rather to pay to repair it. He did receive 1 bond for getting an Invader medal. He managed to get the base XP of 498 experience points, and there was no multipliers, so I'm afraid that's all he took away. But let's have a look. 1290, not bad at all. If you like this video, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel, and hopefully it'll be your replay that I'll be featuring in our next video.